to me the most emotionally difficult part of what you were writing was writing about leaving your mother. That when you were in high school, you decided you didn't want to live with her anymore. You wanted to live with your father. And you just kind of left one day.
It was a terrible situation. It was a really terrible situation. It wasn't my mother's fault. Something just went off in me. I wanted better for me. And I not only ran away, I came back a year later and got my little brother and my little sister.
And took them with you to your father's house.
Yeah, and to see
and he
them
got
crying
custody.
for
He
mommy,
got legal custody. Which
and that was really hard. That was the hardest day of my life. And I heard my mother cry, and it just broke me down. And I think about it now. I never meant to hurt my mother.
In the book you describe how are you okay to keep going?
Yeah.
In the book you describe how you and your mother never reconciled.
One day we will. Maybe one day she'll pick up this book.
I figure she
Maybe
would.
She'll read it. Maybe she'll read it.
Do you intend part of it to be a way of saying to her, let's talk?
When you talk to someone, they can either argue with you and just shut you off and walk out the room. When you talk to somebody on the phone, they can hang up on you. But when you write them a letter, they have to read that letter. They just have to read that letter. Me, I forgive my mother and I moved on. That's for my moving on. That's for me. My mother had to forgive herself. I understand, Mommy. That's all I'm saying is I understand. I understand what the position you was in and why you did what you did. I love my mother. My mother made sure, her stubbornness, she made sure we was going to eat. She made sure we had Christmases. That was my mother. My father wasn't there for that.
You know it's going to be odd for people hearing this. A lot of people say that when they see you being interviewed, that they never know, like, what's the real Tracy Morgan and what's, like, part performance. And so people are always used to seeing you being comically over the top as yourself on television. I'm not talking about 30 Rock or anything. I'm just talking about like when you're interviewed. And there's that famous thing that's all over YouTube where you're interviewed by a local TV
Well, you're the first person to ever interview me in retrospect.
Is that true?
Now you're seeing the other side.
Oh, okay.
Now you're seeing the other side because
it's just like
you was
completely.
interested.
It's like 180 degrees from the over the top comic side. It's like whoa. It's like
I love you for that, Terry.
I
love you for that. Just caring, just being interested. I love you just for that.
All right.
You know, and I feel good. I feel good.